2001-2005 Toyota RAV4 all-wheel drive. The rear suspension arm number 1 broke. We're gonna go ahead and replace it. Also the springs, the lower suspension arm, the swivel links, they all broke. So we're gonna go ahead and replace it. A closer look here. This is the rear suspension trailing control arm. It's broken right there. That's the other piece right there. This is the new one here. I'm gonna be showing the part number a little bit later. This is a 10mm bolt, by the way, for the ABS wheel speed sensor. Remove the upper suspension arm, 17mm bolting nut. This bolt is not coming out, it has a lot of pressure, so I will have to lift it up probably. I'm gonna leave it like this for now. I'm gonna proceed to take out the 30mm axle nut. Alright, finally I'm coming back to remove the bolt here on the upper suspension arm. Alright, upper suspension arm is out. 12mm bolt to be able to take this one out. Another 12mm bolt for the ABS cable here. Oops, it broke. It broke. Here is the piece of bolt here. And that bolt that broke, it holds this bracket here on the control arm right there for the emergency brake cable here. Now this 12mm bolt here for the ABS cable here, the ABS wheel speed sensor cable. Hope it doesn't break. This one came out. Next is this 12mm bolt here. I hope it doesn't break. That one right there, it cannot be seen too much. It's holding the brake line right there, because everything is attached to the control arm, so everything has to be taken off from the control arm. This one also came out, so that is good. I'm realizing that the spring is also broken here, right there. It has to be replaced too. Next, 12mm bolt here for this bracket that is holding the brake line. It also broke. It broke too. And I sprayed penetrating oil and let it for a few hours, and everything here, everything, but it's not working. I'm gonna lift up the vehicle from the differential, probably from the metal, because the other tire is on the floor, not this side, but the other side is on the floor, so it has pressure. It doesn't allow me to turn this here to line up these holes with the bolts and take out the bolts. Alright, now that I lift up the vehicle from the rear differential, the coil spring lost all the pressure that it has, so now it's very easy to take it out for me. Alright, the coil spring is out very easily. The spring broke from here. See the other piece? Again, because the vehicle is jacked up from the rear, there is no pressure, so now I can turn the hub assembly here very easily to line up the 14mm nuts with the holes and take the nuts out. Spraying penetrating oil between the assembly here and the control arm, so maybe that helps a little bit to separate both of them. Next, I'm removing the lower control arm right there, this one here. I'm gonna remove it from this side, and then I have to remove it by the differential too. I'm already installed a wrench right there to hold it, and I'm gonna be pulling it out with my impact gun from here. Oops, right there. Let's pull out the entire hub assembly from the suspension arm number 1. Actually, it was very easy to remove it. I did not have to bang it or something. I'm gonna remove the shock absorber right now, 2 14mm nuts, because I want to have more space to the bolt for the lower control arm, lower suspension arm I mean. Because I took out the nut, but the bolt is still very stuck inside, so I cannot pull it out. Now this is the bolt that I'm talking about for the lower suspension arm. It's very stuck, it doesn't want to come out. I'm gonna hammer it and see what happens. At least it's turning, but when I hit it on the other side with a hammer, it doesn't want to come out. Somehow it's not coming out. I hit it over here on this side with very bad already, and it doesn't want to come out. It's refusing to come out. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Anyway, the bushing is all messed up, as you can see right there, and I'm gonna take off the trailing arm from there. 17mm bolt right there. I hope it comes out. And then the swivel link also has to come out. 14mm nut right there. I'm gonna cut the swivel link from here because I already tried the vice grip here, and I still giving me problems. Cannot take it out. Also cannot cut it from here because this is on the way, and also this is on the way. I already tried Allen, but the holes are stripped off inside on both sides, so I can't do it that way either. Now I gotta take these slugs from here and from the other side too. Sometimes I insert a pin and push it to the other side, and the other one on the other side comes out. I'm gonna insert this pin here. Let's see if it helps. Oops. Here is the one on the other side. The one on the left hand side is not coming out. This arm here has a lot of weight because of the control arm here, the piece of control arm here, so I'm gonna cut it from here. So I'm gonna be dealing only with this part from with the piece right there. All right, now I cut the lower suspension arm. Now I'm gonna pull it out together with the suspension arm number 1. Now both pieces of suspension arm number 1 and lower suspension arm are out. All right, now seen on camera, I pulled out the locking plate for the lower suspension arm by the differential right there. Trying to pull out this lower suspension arm, but it's not coming out, so I guess I'm gonna open the bracket here so it can provide me some space. All right, finally I got to pull it out here. Well, let's take off the other piece of the swivel link here. I tried the Allen key here, and also the hole is stripped off, so it's not good. Also try vice grip, and it's not good either. It didn't help, so. Alright, finally the other piece of the swivel link is out. See that cut I made right there with the grinder? Alright, now 17mm bolt here for the other piece of the suspension arm number 1. Alright, that is the toe camel adjuster right there, the metal tube. That system is really bad. They really get stuck. Alright, the washer here popped out from the toe adjuster cam. As you guys know, it is like this. So what I did was I put this fork over here like this and hit it, and finally this popped out. We're gonna go beneath the vehicle right there to take a look here beneath. That's the other washer right there. I'm gonna try to pry it out, or either hit it with a hammer or something, so yeah, I can pop it out. Alright, about 20 minutes fighting with this thing here. I insert a flathead screwdriver between the bracket and the washer right there, and it still doesn't pop out. I don't want to apply heat here, but I have a spray a lot of penetrating oil because the heat is gonna destroy the insulators here, and I don't want to destroy them. I want to reuse them. That's the screwdriver right there. And I'm gonna use this chisel here from Harbor Fry. I'm gonna see if I can pry it out. That's the nut right there for the camel adjuster. I've been prying it out all this time, maybe for about 40 minutes, and it doesn't come out at all. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna see if I can cut this nut here. I cannot cut it exactly as I would like it because of the angle here, like this maybe. Now as I cut it, I'm assuming that the disc of the grinder is gonna hit this part here, so I have to be careful. And here, that's the nut right there of the camel adjuster. I'm cutting it right there with the grinder. Also made some marks here, a little bit, very little, just marks basically. So I'm gonna see if I can pry this thing out, this piece. Oops. Ay. After cutting the locking nuts, the tube for the camel adjuster can be seen right there. Very bad. I'm trying to open the brackets with this flathead screwdriver so it can give me some space to pull out this piece of suspension arm number 1. Alright, finally the last piece is out. The camel adjuster is welded inside with all the rust and everything. So we're gonna reuse these insulators here. That's the other one. See, this is where the tube is inserted by pressure, with pressure, but it refuses to come out when it's rusty. It's like it's welded inside, like this. See the tube? See, it's welded with rust, so that will not come out. Even if I hit it here outside, I have more space, it won't come out. They ceased completely, see? Alright, the information for the coil springs right there, made in China, but they are very good, they are decent. That's the information right there. I'm going to be providing a link also. And this is the information for the sway bar links. Both of them right there. I'm going to be also providing a link. These are for the lower control arms. These two here. This one is for the passenger side. And this one is for the driver side right there. I'm talking about these ones here. Lower suspension arms, that's what Toyota calls it. Now those are the rear suspension arms, number 1 on both sides. That's what Toyota calls them. Also the camel adjusters, they both have the same part number. These are for the lower control arm right there, suspension arm. So they both have the same part number. And I'm gonna be leaving a link for all of these components in case if you guys need some of these components here. For the installation of these components, please watch part 2. Thanks for watching and stay blessed.